got a sport coat on me today, so I'm in my mode right now.
Coach, what would you like to tell your fans and alumni about the off-season and the coming of the new season?
Yeah, it's been an exciting 6 months. Our guys get back here this coming weekend and ready to pick up where they left off. But it's been a lot of work. It's been a long journey that's been fun. We've had to learn how to work. We've had to learn, obviously, schematically what we're doing, but more than anything else, we've had to come together. That's the biggest challenge in college football right now is this sense of connection that you're trying to build, and it's got to be organic, and that's the biggest piece that we've worked on.
Is that different now, coming together and building that culture, than it was any other stop for you in the coaching profession?
I wouldn't say it's different than probably the last 3 stops, but it is different just in the sense that there's so many new guys. In the last couple of spots, it's been that way. I think it's different in that regard. In terms of what you're doing, how you're doing it is not, but how many, purely the number is different.
Do you kind of build that connectivity in a short period of time, especially when there's got the summer between now and the season?
Yeah, I think we've tried to force it a lot of ways. And I say force, I think try to make it organic, even though it's kind of forced. Things like making guys sit down and eat meals together. Like every meal you got to sit down. You can't grab a to-go box and run. I think it starts out forced, it becomes organic. You do things, activities together. We've tried to go to softball games, baseball games. And we got some stuff lined up this summer. We'll go bowl, we'll go play paintball, things that you create opportunities for these guys to spend time together. I think the one thing that's changed so much, maybe more than anything else, guys used to live together in the dorm for 4 years, and that's where all of your connection happens. Now guys, and then there was a period where guys used to have a bunch of roommates. There'd be 4 of them in a house. I think what's changed is guys can afford to live on their own, or maybe just one roommate, and kind of live all over the place. And so that part, you've had to give opportunities to bring guys together. I think as long as if it's forced and it doesn't feel organic, I think the guys know that. What you're trying to get is that they want to hang out, they want to sit around, they want to break bread and then hang out in the locker room. Started to see that as the spring went. You kind of started to see them linger around more after practice, more after workouts, more after meetings. And that's what you're trying to create. But it's got to be organic. Like so much of it can be put on them. They got to want to do it, and we spend hours talking about why that's important. And ultimately, it's a talk about sacrifice all the time. The biggest thing you can sacrifice is your time. And I think if you can get there as a team, as a program, you got a shot.
Alex, what was your reaction when you see the discourse about Byron Brown's throwing motion? What goes through your head? Do you just kind of roll your eyes when you see that, or what was your reaction to people kind of breaking that down this spring?
Are you saying that I paid attention to the reaction?
I'm just asking if you had seen it or what your reaction was.
It was hard not to see. My algorithms are jacked up. Yeah, I thought it was funny. I really did.
There's been a lot of talk around the Baylor games and fans wanting on campus. What are the advantages of playing a neutral site game and just being on that stage?
Yeah, I don't know if I thought about it as a neutral site game necessarily. I think advantage, got the ABC 2:30, 3:30 slot opening weekend. I think that's obviously big. I think being in Atlanta is great. So much alumni base there. We obviously would love for it to be a home game. I think part of being at Auburn is you got one of the coolest venues in college sports right there on your campus. But decision was made, and it was made for a lot of reasons. And man, I'm selling the heck out of that decision at this point. But for us to be in Atlanta, like that alumni base, we're going to have a ton of Auburn people that are there, a ton of Auburn people that'll travel. National stage, that thing's going to be blue and orange. It'll be huge. So I don't know if there's an advantage of a neutral site game, especially when it's your home game. But our job's to make Atlanta look like home, and we're going to make Atlanta look like home.
Coach, I've heard you play a song that's popular in Tuscaloosa during practices. Is that true? Did I hear that correctly? The Dixieland Delight during practice sometime?
We do.
So I was going to ask you, did you bring that from another program, or what led you to that decision to concentrate have that little concentration about your rival during the entire year?
Yeah, I think one thing my job is bring Auburn football back to where everybody expects, and what everybody expects is for that game to not be one-sided for the last 6 years. And so we're going to put an emphasis on it daily, and it's not like we're spending 3 hours on it. We're spending 3 hours on us, and then we're spending 5 minutes, some sort of competition, as a quick reminder that at the end of the year, this game is on our schedule, and it's important to the people of Alabama. It's important to the Auburn family. It's important to our football team when you get to coach and play in the greatest rivalry in college sports, or one of. Man, if it's important to everybody, it's going to be important to us. And it's just a quick, easy reminder every day that Week 12 this year, it's in Tuscaloosa. I don't want the first time for them to hear it to be up there, that we're going to remind them how important it is. And we've had former players come back all spring. There's been a huge emphasis on that, and that's the one thing, and I learned it early in December and January and February. Every former player, every person that gives to our program, as you walk away, the last thing they say is, "Coach, we got to go beat them guys." And so that's why we've made it a big deal.
So I hope you guys understand.
All good?
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you.
Thank